Super time. Fuck off!
Rovers into the lead, number 9, Sam
Hey, big boot. Shoot, man. The assistant host says it all. Too much gold. Yes! Fucking hell. Done really well there.
Same position, innit?
Same again. It's a nice idea.
Bang! Keep going, Ben! Not enough. Shin. Miss it. Closer.
Nice.
At least fucking jump. Just fucking get off ground there. That's a certain booking.
Tiny's Nolan.
That's good.
Rovers substitution replacing number 2, Jakob Ward. Is 16, Scott Walton.
I don't mind that as much.
don't want to make this video, but yeah, the day after the absolute sickener. Was it handball? Was it his chest? Doesn't really matter, does it? Fact of the matter is, we've drawn a game that we should have won. We should have seen that game out. Despite it being very much a game of two halves, you cannot account for the goalkeeper coming up and scoring the equaliser. It should not happen, frankly. And yeah, I mean, first half, I think we absolutely dominated that game. We didn't give Coventry a look in. They didn't have a sniff the entire first half. And then the second half, you could just kind of tell that we were a bit scared and a bit apprehensive to actually go for the second. And, you know, because, I mean, just like I said, just too scared really to roll the dice. And, you know, we get that second, then not a chance we're chucking that away at home. But we've done it too many times this season now where we're going into the final 10 minutes and it's 1-0. How many times have we done it this season where we have been able to see it out, but against a better quality side in Coventry, you know, these 1-goal leads aren't going to be enough to sit on for an entire half, unfortunately. You need to put a team like this to the sword. We were at home. We weren't away. You could understand it if we were away to set off a little bit, you know, absorb some of the pressure. But when you're at home, it's just unacceptable, really. I think changing to a back five was poor form yet again from JDT. He brings Scott Wharton on to see out the lead, and it didn't happen again. Just like it didn't at Sheffield United the last time he brought Scott Wharton into a back five. We ended up chucking a 1-goal lead there and ended up losing. It just doesn't work, frankly. I don't think we've played that system enough, and to really warrant it. I think we were comfortable enough with 4 at the back, just like we were at Sheffield United. And I think it's just a case of covering his own back, because if we were to concede, it would be, oh, well, why didn't you go more defensive and whatnot? But I'd much rather at least keep the back 4 what we used to and actually be able to get up the pitch, because for the final 20 minutes or so, it was woeful, really. It was just constant pressure. And that goal at the end ultimately comes from our own free kick, where I believe it was Diaz was offside. Perez kicks the free kick up the pitch. Whoever it was offside, and then after the next phase of play, when Cov get things back underway, they get a corner, and what happens, and it's just poor game management really from the manager and the players. And yeah, we should not have afforded them that opportunity to get to get a goal rather. 5 minutes was quite generous, really, considering, Gallagher was down, Rankin Costello was down. We were forced into these substitutions due to injuries, and we only had 5 minutes to see it out. It could have quite easily been 7-8 minutes. I think it was very generous. But yeah, 3 points now from the last 5, which is just unacceptable. And if we don't turn things around on Saturday, it's curtains in it. I think we had to win really yesterday to give us that certainty, but I think a point may have just been enough. But the way our results are going, it obviously won't be enough. If we carry on not winning games, we obviously aren't going to make it. We need to at least win 1 or 2 of these last 4 games to scrape it, and I do mean scrape it. And that has to start with Preston, really. Preston find themselves in a bit of weird form. I think they've lost the last 2. They've dropped off a little bit. You got to think they were right on our tails after that Norwich result, and now they're back down to 10 for something like that. Whether the pressure has got to them too, but we need to make amends for the absolute embarrassment at the start of, towards the end of last year. Sorry, after the World Cup break, weren't it? The absolute embarrassment at home. What a performance that was. Well, disgraceful, really. And the first time I've ever left the ground early, it was that bad. Yeah, we need to really make amends for that. Hopefully we can get a result, and then, depending on whether Burnley get a result on the weekend, if they win that game, they will be coming to Ewood as champions, and therefore have nothing left to play with. But if they weren't to win on the weekend, there is every chance that they could win the title at Ewood. If they were to win that game, if they do not win on the weekend and then win at Ewood, they would be winning the title at Ewood. They've got QPR at home, so you would assume they'll put them to the sword, but you would have assumed they'd have beat Reading and Rotherham, and they haven't managed it. So whether they're on the beach, obviously I hope that they win it on the weekend and don't do it at Ewood, and also it just maybe takes that few percent off the gas, knowing that their season is over with at that point. The record's gone due to those two slip-ups against Reading and Rotherham, and all they have to do now is, finish the job, win the title, which is obviously a formality, but whether it happens at Turnmore on the weekend or Ewood on Tuesday is something we'll have to see. I just obviously hope it isn't the latter. But yeah, just 4 really tough games now. I think we can beat Preston. I think, judging off Burnley's most recent results, I think there's every chance we could get something from that game if they aren't playing for the title at Ewood. If they're playing for the title at Ewood, they will be very much up for it. But if they win the title on the weekend, out on the town, whatnot, getting pissed up, and then they're having to play a game a couple of days later, it could give us a chance to obviously get a result. And then Luton and Millwall is such a toss-up, really. Well, it just depends what Rovers turns up. Depends whether Millwall, final game of the season, they're already in the playoffs. If they are, that obviously benefits us. So hopefully they can secure their spot, and it makes it a nice, easy game for us. Luton obviously may also be on the beach themselves. They've confirmed playoffs, so obviously not going to get automatics. So it could be a game where players are rested and it foot off the gas. You never know. It's still all to play for. Preston, realistically, could be the hardest one out the lot when you think Burnley could be on the beach. Luton will be on the beach. And Millwall could be on the beach if they've confirmed it prior to that last game. So it's just a huge game this weekend. Obviously, there's the tension with the derby and whatnot as it is. And then obviously another derby a few days later, 3 games in 6 days, what's mind-boggling. But yeah, anyway, in regards to last night's match, probably a just result. Like I said, I think it was a game of 2 halves. I think we didn't give Cov a look in the first half, and I think the second half we were far too negative, and I think we kind of got what we deserved ultimately. I couldn't say after that 1-1 draw that I felt unjust. I was just obviously very much down in the dumps after it, as any fan would be, conceding last minute in such an important game. But yeah, travelled in great numbers, the Cov fans, and were fairly vocal, so fair play to them. But yeah, we'll have to see. It is just so tight. I mean, from 5th to 10th, it's 2-3 points, something ridiculous. So it's going to be a really interesting run-in, but thankfully results kind of went our way, which made that draw a little bit more palatable. But if we'd have got that win, we could have gone to 5th, and it'd be looking so much better right now after those poor results around us. We need to just capitalise. I do feel like this is typical Rovers. It was just the typical Rovers result that too. We could have gone 5th, and the very last minute we concede to a goalkeeper, what's just an absolute sickener. But yeah, on to the next one. Hopefully more to cheer about on Saturday, you know, because it would really turn things around and get the fans hoping again. We can dispatch of Preston in the playoff race, really, if we beat them. You know, if we lose that game, we're allowing them straight back into it. So, you know, if we win on the weekend, we're basically taking a team out of the equation. So let's see what we can do, and as long as it's better than the Ewood performance v Preston, that's a bonus.